Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to have a little hodgepodge. We got some books I'm taking to the shop in town to brighten up my booth and give it some pop. And I have some paper making experiments I wanted to show with you over here. So we'll get to that in a minute. Now, I wanted to do a bee journal. I had a few little supplies left in a bag over there that I always have in my to-do box, I guess you would call it. So I had a few digitals that were just off cuts, and I put this on here. I think it's from My Porch Prints, but it's a beautiful little watercolor kind of design bee. And of course, it's got like a dress or an establishment or advertisement. I'm not sure what that is on here. I did add some rubber ones, and they're in a few places. Then I did like a little collage here and a little piece that kind of goes with the blue. And that little bee came from another one of the ephemera packs, maybe the same one. But this paper I got at Hobby Lobby. It's a two-sided paper. So I have honeycomb on the inside, and it's got the bees on the outside in gold, and I thought it was really, really pretty. And I just made a total cover with it because it's a 12 by 12, and all I did was fold it up at 3. And I did cut a little wedge out here between the two pockets, just so I didn't bind up the binding. And here is a way I've been doing some of my closures on my books, especially these smaller ones. I'll take a brad and just a piece of excess scrap. It's about 3 inches by 1. And I will just put it on there with a brad usually. And this one, I covered it up with a butterfly wing, so you didn't see the legs that came through. So I like how that works. And the way I do it, it screws around and it actually hides itself. And I've got a little Velcro dot here, one of those clearish ones that's hiding all that. Okay, inside I have my little flyer. I have just some scrap in here. This is mostly for them to fill in themselves. I have a few little cuts here, like that's from a Stamperia pack, and that was some more that Tim Holtz, one of the packages. I don't know, I've got so many packages of his, I can't keep them straight. This is out of a scrapbook page, so it had a white background, and I did a little stamping. I did inking with vintage photo and some ground espresso, I believe it was, and then I stamped on it with a little honeycomb stamp that I've got. This, of course, is another My Porch Prints image, and I had some stamping here in the 2 different corners. This is my rug ripper paper. Always does a cool design. Cheap, is so cheap to get. $2, $3, and you could do all kinds of different papers. I picked browns and golds and yellows, maybe some blacks. There's a little pop of color here and there. And I made this out of scraps, and it's got the bee's knees, and it's got a couple bees on some flowers. And I just kind of put that together, and I thought it went well here because I did have this little bit of color on this page. Now, Mom had a envelope come to her down there the other week, and she sent it up here to me because it was about the bees, saving the bees. So there was images like this was on the envelope, and I think that may have been. So I cut a few things out for this journal. This is my paper that I just laid out on the deck. So it got a wood grain design. I have a 6x6 over there from Hobby Lobby just called Bees. And I put one of the pages in here at a catty corner. And then I just glued the tip, another image from that envelope that Mom got. And this makes a belly band. It's a little on the tighter side, but it's just a scrap that I had from a cut off in here. That's usually what I'll do. I'll just take and make up. It is a little tight. I probably need to cut that down a little bit. Okay, it was 3 inches. Now it's like 2. But it does slide in there. I probably need to do my wax candle technique there. But I do have a few colors. Like here's a blue. I just kind of left it up to chance, whatever. I thought it had a hexagon shape in it, as you can see. So I thought that would work. And it's just, these are some more, that's another scrap. And this is a napkin back here, but this is a stacked pocket. I'll usually do that with pieces and parts of cut-offs that I've got. So I put this one down and glued just the two sides. I put that one down and glued just the two sides, and then that one got the bottom and the sides glued. So I got a little Stamperia queen bee there. This is from another digital that I've got, and then that goes back here. But I put a little bling on here, so it's like a little 3-stacked pocket. And here's some of my pretty yellow paper that I did. I think I put that on the rug gripper, but it didn't really turn out that dark. This is the belly band, and I put a doily behind it because I don't think you can really write on this foil kind of paper like that very well. So I thought they could write on that, or they just put a big envelope or something under there they'd write on. And then it had a white background, so the part that I cut off at the top, the 3 inches, I glued that totally down here, and then I put the bee paper cut off here, and then another little bit of the doily, and then a bee that I had stamped out. This is my paper that you use acrylic paint, and you just lay it in the grass. So you got the grass blades showing. And I also put some coffee in it, so that's why you got that brown popping out. Another little shape that kind of reminded me of bees. This is a placemat that has a real tight weave in it that does a really cute design. Now here is the other Stamperia piece. It came out of what was that? It came out of Stamperia Alchemy. That's where it came from. So I had that little piece left over, and so I used that whole 12 by 12 in here. And that's what I tried to do. Use it up. This was another offcut. Of course, it's got a little bee on it. And then another one of those pages with the 2 offcuts. And I did a little stamping on this one. And I have Queen Forte. Now, this side of that paper got a little bit more of the imprint. Oh, I had another piece on top of it. Sometimes if you layer your papers, you put envelopes on it, you get the envelope impression. I need to do that this summer when it gets nice and hot. And here's another little image that came out of that envelope Mom got. And looks like he's inside of the tube of a flower. There's the napkin that I totally glued down. I think you can write on top of this easy. This little cute guy, I had been making something, and I got the idea of doing these little hexagons, and then I put like a little tab on the one corner, or the one flat side, so I could put a brad in it. Now I put the brad through this little piece of round here, so I could glue it down to this other side of this little triangle. My little bee keeps moving. He also came out of that envelope. It's got help save the bees, and I wanted him up here to be flying above this flower, but I wanted something interactive in here, I guess you could say. So there's 6 of these that I covered with some kind of flower design. This one's got bees, that's got butterflies. So it's just something a little different. And then we have the back side of this with just a little collage. Another stamping. The other side of that, my Porch Prints sheet that I did. And then you got the back with another piece from Stamperia. I don't know what with alchemy has to do with bees, but I wouldn't argue. I like that image. The colors went well. The monarch butterfly goes well here. The Save Our Bees tote bag, I cut that down and put that on the pocket. So, all right, there's the little bee journal. I was trying to do some inexpensive journals to put in there. I don't know what I'm going to charge for them. I'm sure they'll be under 30. But I was working on this one because I mentioned I was going to do another file folder tab journal like the steampunk. And this is the same construction as the steampunk. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 tabs. I think there's 4, I think it's a 9 by 6, and then you got like another 1/2 inch for the tabs, file folders. Now I used green ones, but then when I put these images on top, they didn't look good with that really bright green. So I decided to go ahead and cover the pages as well with some other papers, and I really liked how that happened. The colors are like real antique-y looking to me. Now I also used one of my little file sanders discs, and I went in here and I rubbed in places, especially on the tabs and all around the edges of the outside here. I did that as well, and then I went in and inked over that with some vintage photo to warm it up. Like that one didn't get enough vintage photo, I don't feel. There, see how it warmed it up? But it kind of looks like it's a worn area. I didn't do that over here either. Okay, there we go. But I thought I would show you, because that will pull in these colors. And because I had to cut that in half, I also inked here, and that kind of gave it a border. I did a little stamping here, 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 and then you get over here, and I also did some ground espresso or some scorched timber, I can't remember which, on my tabs, because they were kind of bright. So I fixed that. All right, so each one of these is basically a file folder, so it's got the 2 sides on it and the bottom. And then, so that's this page. That's one page, or one file folder in it, I mean. So I utilized the top. I had to cut that off and put it back on there. But then I wanted a pocket. So I wanted some kind of journaling in here. So I made a pocket by taking another file folder piece, covering that to where it looks like it's the one side only, you know. But I've got some rug gripper dyed index cards, so I'm putting those in here, and I figured somebody could put more in here if they wanted to write on. They could have an envelope in here. Oh, and this one has a little owl on the tab. I don't know, he came off like a cigar box, Tim Holtz item or something. So here's another mushroom. I did some stamping with wheat here, and a Heiser Pharmacy, put a couple of morels. I did some stamping on another piece of paper and have a mushroom stamp set, and that's where I use those. These are the purple thistles that come out at the very last in the fall that the bees can harvest from. After that, there's nothing else that they can harvest anything from. Here was some writing paper. I put a little chunky mushrooms over here. This was a piece from when I was doing those pockets, and I was experimenting with the label stamp. These come with the Melina Fine Art or something. I can't remember what this is called or from. But she had bugs and mushrooms on little journal cards, I guess you could call them. Now these had some herb images, and you can write on the back. So I added those in. Here's another big pocket, same thing. I just kind of blended the papers so they all kind of went together. This is the cover. It's the only really bright mushroom, and there is this one flower or herb in here, and I did have a stamp that looked just like that, so I really liked how that tied in. Little mushrooms down here, and then we flip it. We got another pocket. Oh, wait, not there. I have some more mushrooms over here. I don't know if that's not chicken of the forest or whatever. No, there's chicken and hens. There's one that's something to do with chickens. I figured they could write in some of these areas if they really wanted to. There's the other pocket. Okay. And then I made another writing space area with some more stamping and mushrooms. I just kind of doubled up here because I didn't have anywhere for that fourth one to go, so I made it work there. And then I've got more mushrooms here. And it's each page is a little different, but they're all in greens. It's like foresty colors. Another big pocket. And then there's our last page. And I used some browns in some cases and blacks in others. It just depended. So that's how that one turned out. And it's really, really chunky feeling and heavy and substantial in your hands. I really love how that one turned out. Okay, and then I wanted to do some butterfly journals. So I was using up a lot of different butterfly things. I had bought a pad at Michael's. This one, it was one of those $5 ones, and it's Butterfly Study. So I used quite a bit of the pages in here to go into these journals. Of course, I did the same thing, the same kind of a closure, though these are a little thinner. They're 3/4 of an inch. I used this beautiful butterfly paper on there, and I had some doily parts left over from something else I was doing, probably that bee one. So I used those on the ends just to give it some flair. Then you can open it up. And I got these little psychedelic butterflies from the Dollar Tree, of course. And then I got the big butterflies in here from Paper Crafting with Miss Tommy. So I was using those up. Now there's sort of a cool idea here I wanted to show you. Trying to see if I had a piece of paper I could tuck in there. Yeah, let's try this. So this is how I usually do my pocket. I cut it, or I flip it over, but I think this one I just cut the 3 inches off and then re-put it on here. So it's a pocket down there. Then it's actually a pocket in here as well that goes all the way in. So you've got 2 pocket situations. So how I did that was I just took and cut this one just about right there, and then I glued that in like a backwards C, so I had an open-ended pocket. Then I glued this one on top of it, and I really like that situation because you got so much more room, but it's compact as well. I really like that. I try to use bright colors. I wanted something to pop, like I said, and I did a little half pages, and then this was my mica page that I sprayed out in the yard that one day. I just kind of sprayed away, and you can see how it looks on the back. I got a couple of these little psychedelic butterflies in here, and at least 5 to 6 pockets, 4 to 6 pockets are in here. Of course, that's here because I don't think you can write on that, so that's when I usually do that. I made a belly band here. This was some cool paper I did in the basement not long ago. I did it on this orange tablecloth. It was a fall colored tablecloth. So it picked up these colors that was in the tablecloth. And I kind of like it. I kind of like it. So yeah, of course, a bunch of these are my dyed pages. You know, there's no formula. You get what you get. Now here was another one of those doilies that I said I wasn't never crazy about doily because it was just useless unless you lined the back of it. But I decided to just put a little butterfly on it and leave it as is. And it could cover up something you may have written on the page and not want anybody to see. There's another. And I didn't bother about white pages in this one. This is going to be an inexpensive journal, so they could write on that. They could write and then put them a big tag or something in here, because I'm leaving that up to them as well. I may go through and get some of my scraps and put in here. I could do that. I really liked how this turned out. I just kind of slung. And I don't know, I think it was a purple, and I don't know how the blue got in there. But that teal, I like how that turned out. I think I need to do more green. That was my pokeberry pink pages. That's a pokeberry plant. And it gets these purple grape-like berries on it. You can't eat them. You can eat the greens in the very early spring, but otherwise they're poisonous. I put a little washi tape on that strip, and that dressed it up a lot. And then these are just the rest of my pages, some more psychedelic butterflies. And each side of this, I put a butterfly. So there were more butterflies inside. And they're all a little different. They're not all the same. So, and then I have a monarchy looking one back here. But yeah, they are, they each have their own characteristics, I guess you could say. So that one has Spend Time Together on it. I thought that suited because all the butterflies are together. But it was a pretty page that, you know, it had a lot of the colors I like to have there. And here we go with that same. I did this in every one of the butterfly ones. So you have the pocket down here and you have the side pockets. And that is on the front and the back. Both of the ends have that same situation. So the same paper. So this one I'll go through a little quicker. Look how that one turned out. And another pocket, and put me a butterfly on that page. This is another painted acrylic kind of paint, but it wasn't exactly acrylic. It was a fabric paint that I've had for eons, and it has this pearlized look to it. So isn't that pretty how it turned out? And I need to do some more of that. Another belly band, because I don't think you can write on that page. And here's the butterfly on that doily. And yeah, that every you know, like I say, every page has its own personality. I just put a strip of washi there and a couple butterflies for interest. I put him here because I think the browns are pretty together. Another pocket. That one didn't get a butterfly. I think I ran out at that point. I didn't have any more. Another pocket. More papers. And then the last. And this is a little belly band on here as well. You can do a belly band any which way you want. There's so many styles of belly bands. I like this one with the big turquoise guy on there. Now this one is different than this one. There's one with a small group of butterflies overall. And then there's one with bigger ones. And I put the Live Your Best Life on this one. And it has the same MO. I got go for an adventure there. I've got a pretty butterfly here. Little skinny pocket there to begin with. So I think this is the first one I started decorating. So it might have more pockets in it. So I'll put a pocket there. And I like this green page as well. How that turned out. I know I put it in my tray out there to dry, but then it didn't have enough color on it, so I did the slinging technique. I think that's what happened with that one. That was a while back. Beyond my memory capacity. Hope everyone is doing well and happy and healthy and hearty today. I cheated, had me a hot dog for breakfast, if you can call it breakfast. So I need to get back on the straight and narrow. I got like 6 days to go to the doctor. There's a belly band. Oh, here's my cool wood grain ones I did, like the most recent. But here's the nails. This one had the nails pop out really good on it. And yeah, so I gotta kind of behave myself. Although, I don't think it could be too bad. I'll just walk on the treadmill. a little extra long today, maybe. Alright. And then we've got our back one. That one kind of looks like a wolf to me, the way his wings are. Alright. Now, I have one more goodie to show you. And I was watching, I don't know, it popped up in my feed or something. But it was like that, which craft do you do? It was the mother. I think the title was something about making papers with mom or something. I don't know. But she was doing some really interesting paper making. And she did, she put a tray down and she sprayed, what was it? She sprayed shaving cream in there. And then I forget what she used. I think she used some distress sprays. And she sprayed some patches in there. And then she took her papers and dipped them in a little bath over here real quickly. It was just dip in and dip out. And then she put them on the foam in the tray. And then she wadded them all up and put them in a tray to go outside to dry in the sun. Now, I think she lives in Australia, so her drying went a whole lot more smoother than mine did. But then she had another system that she used to color her papers, and I can't remember that one as well. So I knew I needed yellow. I think I'm down to like one yellow page after those bead journals there. So I tried to do it. So I put it in my, and I used RIT dye, yellow RIT dye. I think it was maybe a quart of water, maybe a little more, and I just sprinkled some RIT dye in there, maybe two or three tablespoons. I wasn't sure how much to use. So I got a pretty decent yellow. I don't know if you can really see that on here. But the idea of the scrunching them up in a little ball was so when they dried, you would get these cool waterline effects. Now, you can't really see too much of it here. I do see a big patch in the middle. And when I ironed mine out, mine didn't iron smooth. I had to go, I took them and put them outside for at least 6 hours. They still weren't dry. I put them on the brick wall back there to catch the last rays of the sun. They still weren't dry. I ended up putting them in the microwave and trying to nuke them for about 3 minutes or so. And it still wasn't drying them. So, I ended up just putting them in the oven. I unscrunched them and laid them as flat as I could. See, I have a pink one later on, and I think he touched the pink one because they were all in the same little bucket. Now, you can see that yellow water line really well there. But they're interesting. See how wrinkled they are? I did iron them with a steam iron, and I even sprayed them to boot to get that steam to work out a good bit. You could write on them. I believe you could write on them. So I'm happy. I'm happy with how they turned out because I really needed some yellow, and these are interesting. I did have a few little mistakes like she did with a little bit of rips here and there, but I think I can go back and patch those up with a little bit of glue. I think I'll be fine there. Now this touched a little bit of the pink in that one the first time I was taking them outside, and I tried to separate them, but that's a little bit of extra color. She got some cool colors as well. I think this is the side that has the better water lines on it. But then, this was just the RIT dye, and that's it. Then I got, after this one, okay, this is my last yellow one. After this one, I went and added a pack of Folgers instant coffee to it and mixed that in. So it's not quite as yellow, and I do this all the time. I'll keep adding other things to the bath. So it's a little darker, as you can see, and it's got those patches of the coffee that came out now. I still have a little bit of bright in here, and it did touch some of that pink later on. So I did a few of those. It's got like the hodgepodge mixture going on there. And there you got some good cuts in the water line. But it seemed to touch, all of these touched the pink somehow. I don't know. So that's okay. These are supposed to be bright and shiny. But they could go for anything. This is the right side. So one's the right side and one's the wrong side, I guess. Oh yeah, because that one's got a whole lot better cut on the water line. All right, so, and then this one's probably, I don't know which side that one is. So that's the last one of that style. Then I put a thing of cherry Kool-Aid on top of the coffee and the RIT dye. And I was afraid I was going to get orange, but I didn't. I got this cool, rosy, kind of pink color. And oh my gosh, when these were scrunched up, they looked just like a rosebud. When I had all of them scrunched up in the little bowl, it looked like a pile of rosebuds in there. It was so neat. But you can still see the patches of yellow that popped out. There might still be a little bit of brown. And then you've got the Kool-Aid-y. I don't know if this may be the coffee. But it's, yeah. And I still got some more of this in a jar in there to do another batch. So, I really liked how these turned out. Yeah. You got the real, and they're stiff really badly here too. So, whatever was in the Kool-Aid, I didn't add any sugar or nothing. It was just the pack of Kool-Aid that it has something that really firms the paper up. So I had to watch that I didn't rip when I unfolded them, you know. So I just thought I would show you that, something different. Now, like I said, that lady must have some really hot air circulating down there to get hers to do as dry as quickly as she did. That one's got some neat. Now, I did have some rips. So you can see a rip there. And you can see how it, like, I was afraid to pull that anymore, but I think it's fine the way it is. So, I hope you enjoyed seeing all that. I think that's about all I had to show you today. I just wanted to, because I'm going to take these into the shop here in the next day or so, so you won't get a chance to see them again. But I really appreciate everybody coming and visiting, and all my subscribers and viewers. I hope you come back again and check out what I got to show you next. I hope you got some ideas from this, especially that inside way of doing your cover. So you got that two-pocket system going on. All right. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.